Are the Raiders a smash mouth, run the ball down your throat kind of team, or a quick strike, pass happy offense?
The football game is getting this ball out to your players fast and letting them make plays.
Just do simple things over and over and over again.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Upon Further Review, brought to you by Coors Light. I'm your host, Paul Gutierrez. And the Raiders, they're kind of in a little mini bye right now, having played last Thursday night. Don't play again until Monday night upcoming. But they're coming off another heartbreaking loss at Denver, 10-7 in prime time. It was a lot of self-inflicted wounds. The Raiders had 11 penalties, a turnover, and they missed a 48-yard field goal. Daniel Carlson missed late in the fourth quarter that would have tied the game. Brock Bowers targeted only 3 times in the entire game, not at all in the second half. This coming less than 4 days after he had 3 touchdown catches. Coming up next, another primetime game against the team that, growing up, I still can't figure out how the Raiders and Cowboys never met in a Super Bowl in the 70s or the 80s. No, I'm dating myself there. And as always, joined by Cynthia Frelund, we're going to get under the hood here and see exactly what the numbers are going to show us for the Raiders matchup against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Cynthia, I know you're a big fan of Monday Night Football.
I love Monday Night Football. I'm so jealous that I won't be there. I'm on Fantasy Live that day. Otherwise, I would be on an airplane and they're easy peasy.
One thing that's going to jump out about this is the matchup, obviously. Quarterback's always the biggest name, the most important position in all of team sports. Dak Prescott. To me, it seems like I don't know if it's a career renaissance or if he's just simply having the best year of his career up to this point. Some of the numbers here, he's got the 3rd highest QB grade in the NFL for Pro Football Focus. He's got 17 touchdown passes, over 2,200 passing yards. What are you seeing from Dak right here, right now?
Well, one, he has to because his defense is totally letting him down.
Exactly.
So sometimes, you got to do what you got to do. But Dak's always been good. I think part of what we're seeing this year that we didn't see last year, obviously he's on the field because he got injured last season, but he's not turning the ball over as often, which was something that was a concern before he got hurt last season. He's also doing a good job of navigating a new O-line. Usually when you have a Pro Bowler retire, it's not good. Probable Hall of Famer, it takes a little bit of time to adjust. And the run game's been helping him out, but he's really good at passing into tight windows, connecting with his receiver with less one yard of separation. That's been something where he's been great this season.
When it comes to Dak also, I mean, he's been there for so long with the Cowboys. Kind of a little backstory here, and I've been covering the Raiders for a little bit. What I kind of remember here, and tell me what your memories are, when he was drafted, the Cowboys actually had their eyes on another guy, Connor Cook. And the Raiders jumped up and drafted him. And then, I mean, how different does NFL history look now if the Cowboys go ahead and if the Raiders pass on Connor Cook and the Cowboys draft Connor Cook instead?
Wow. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Truly. Wow. So Connor Cook, Michigan State. I remember his whole draft profile now that you say it. Not in the league. Not sure what he's doing now, but it would look a lot different had things gone that way. But, the Cowboys make some interesting decisions, and they do a good job of not chasing bad decisions and getting rid of things. I don't know. They're an interesting team. They always keep themselves relevant.
Same covering this team here. So when you look at what the year that Dak is having, instead of Connor Cook in Dallas, obviously, he's facing a defense, Dak is, in the Raiders that is really had a performance that it could hang its hat on in Denver. Very limiting the Broncos to 10 points, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, 2 interceptions by the same guy, Caillou Blue Kelly. When it comes to the Raider defense, I mean, this seems like it's got the recipe here for a high-scoring game here. What does the Raider defense need to do to keep this game manageable, like it did on Thursday night in Denver a couple games ago?
Be smart about the blitz. That's the number one thing, because if you look at one area where Dak Prescott is average or worse, it's against the blitz. So when they rush 5 or more pass rushers, he ranks about average 17 when it comes to, the completion situation, but also success rate, 22. So he's not as good against the blitz. So do that. Quick pressures, get into his face fast. We know that Max Crosby can do that, even though he got chipped a ton last week. He still managed to overcome them to the tune of 2 quick pressures of his 4. So fast blitz, that's the recipe right there.
The recipe. From the Raider perspective also, they forced the Broncos. They were only 5 for 15 on 3rd down, 1 for 3 in the red zone. They held Denver to the 5th fewest yards per game among all teams with 220 yards last week. So, again, translating those games over, the Raiders are basically coming off of a mini-bye. So, from the defense's perspective, again, the recipe is there. Is this almost an opportunity here where there's too much time between games where you can almost overthink yourself, or is it just go out there and just play?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know in the middle of the season if there can be too much time between a game, because ultimately you need a chance to refresh, reset, get everyone as healthy one as possible, even though this team is actually relatively healthy compared to some other ones. But the more time, the better. Get back into the nice flow, not being, I don't know, I'm old, so I always think about like creaky joints, but they don't have that. They don't have that problem, but still, healthier the better.
So now we're at the point where I always look forward to the most. Your number to know, and I got a feeling it's got a little something to do with a certain tight end on the Raiders. What's your number to know this week for the Raiders?
Oh yeah, Brock Bowers.
You didn't forget about him?
No, never. And you know who shouldn't? The Cowboys defense. Mm-hmm. I don't think they'll have an answer for him, but they won't forget about him. But 2.3 yards per route run. So why do we care about yards per route run? Because it kind of tells you, one, how often they're on the field, how often they're used in routes as opposed to blocking tight ends, which is a little bit less eventful, I guess, against a Cowboys defense that gives up a bunch of yards through the air. He's causing a ton of problems for every defense. You saw it against the Broncos. I don't need to talk about the 3 touchdown day prior to that. But ultimately, when you're looking at where the Cowboys are going to have a problem, it's going to be defending how multiple he is. They've been giving up a very high success rate to opposing tight ends. So, something like the top 7%, 7 or 6 all season long. They have never, sometimes we get this stat where it's like, okay, they're seventh most generous, but it's sometimes they're 14, sometimes they're 2. No. It's consistently quite generous to the tight end position. 3 touchdowns to the position, as well as 0 interceptions when defending it.
So you're telling me then that the Raiders also can't forget about him in the second half. They got to target him more than 3 times for the whole game?
I would say target him like as many times as possible.
Awesome. Cynthia, thank you so much. As always, it's always fun and illuminating and learn something. So to get more of Cynthia's numbers to know, you can find everything of hers Raiders related on Raiders.com. Also check out the Raiders official YouTube page. Cynthia, thank you, and I wish we would see you Monday night at Allegiant Stadium.
I'll be there in spirit.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we've got an interview with a potential Hall of Famer, a guy that did it better maybe than anybody else at his position, former Raider punter Shane Lechler. He's going to join the show.
It's good, but let's have a closer look.
Yeah, let's have a closer look.
What you think?
Very
Good. Yeah, looks good.
Meet Max Out. He's a credit wrecker. His eyes are bigger than his wallet. And his credit score pays the price. You see, Max doesn't know he should only use 30% or less of his credit limit, because using his full line can lower his score. Don't be like Max Out. Instead, learn how to avoid the wreckers at creditwreckers.com. Credit One Bank for what's ahead.
Raider Nation, get ready for the ultimate pregame party. The Modelo Tailgate Zone is steps from the stadium, and it's free. Enjoy games, face painting, the Raiderettes, and Raiders alumni, drinks, and food trucks. For the first time ever, a concert featuring 3 of the most powerful voices in modern music. You don't want to miss the Power of 3. An electrifying supergroup, 3 stars, 1 stage. Located in Lot N at the north end of the stadium. And doors, they'll open 4 hours before kickoff. See you there.
I'm a big, highly goal-oriented person. I set a bunch of goals every year, and I set some that are impossible to obtain.
You've accomplished literally everything you could accomplish as a punter.
It hits it for 6. Side bounce, never. 71 yards. McCann downs it.
Trying to get that Oakland Raider organization turned around a little bit, heading in the right direction. So.
Lechler punted from his own 10-yard line. Wow, what a kick. Came into this game with the best punting average in the league, and this one will bounce into the end zone. That is an 80-yard punt. That was like a jugs machine. Hit moments ago from 40. Oh, here's the fake. Lechler completes. False. Walks it in. Touchdown.
You're a legend of the game. Whenever you're the greatest of all time at a position, you're a legend of a game. That's what you are.
Hey, welcome back to Upon Further Review. And as you can tell by that highlight package, joined by Shane Lechler, the potential future Hall of Famer. And Shane, I'm in year 21 covering the Raiders, and I guess I was blessed, fortunate enough to see a lot of your highlights that we just saw there. When you hear those things, when you see those things, a long career, a majority of it spent with the Raiders, what do you remember most about your time with the Raiders?
I just remember the mystique of the organization. I mean, that's the first thing that stands out to me. It is a stand by itself organization, which I love, and it was led by Al Davis, which is, one of the greatest owners of all time. No, that's not even arguable. And we got to have some great years, and have met some great friends. I did a lot of, great things on the field, and had a great time doing it.
18 years in the NFL, 13 with the Raiders, 7 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pro, first-team All-Pro selections. A member not only of the All-2000s team by the Hall of Fame, but the All-2010s team as well. It brings us up to where we are right now. You are one of 52 candidates for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When you hear that, when people tell you that, what goes through your mind?
It's kind of one of those things. I've looked at the names on the list, and it is very humbling.
Yeah.
There is some guys on there that I am friends with, competed against, enjoyed watching. It's an elite list, topped off by one of my good friends, Drew Brees, and it's exciting for me. I'm nervous about it, to be honest with you, but I'm excited.
So let's play a little make believe. It's not even make believe. It's true story stuff here. Let's say I'm a selector for the Hall of Fame, and little bit of a culture shock here. I actually am. Spoiler alert. Tell me your case. Present your case for the Hall of Fame to me, and I'm pretty sure you got my vote already. But what message should I take to the rest of the voters that, hey, Shane Lechler deserves more than a look here to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
I think what I stand on with it is I feel like I did it the right way. I don't think that I'm not a big social media guy. As a matter of fact, I'm not on any social media. I don't even check my email.
Good for you.
But the whole Hall of Fame deal, I feel like my resume is done. I feel like my resume stands for itself. I hate talking about myself. But yes, I feel like I did it the right way, the NFL way, the professional way. And I took a whole lot from guys like Rich Gannon, Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, all those guys, Lincoln Kennedy, all those guys that were pros, and I tried to bottle all that up and make sure I did it to the standard that they would want me to do it.
So when John Madden was describing Ray Guy, and rest in peace to Ray, he said that he was a football player who just happened to punt. How would you describe yourself? Similar?
Very similar.
Yeah.
I went to college as a quarterback. In high school, I played at a small 2A high school in East Bernard and played every down of the game. Offense, defense. I punted. I kicked off. I was the punt returner. I was the kickoff returner. And then, I played every sport in high school. And once I got to college, I was the backup quarterback there for 3 years until RC was like, hey, just concentrate on punting. You can do it for a long time. I didn't know he meant 18 years, but, and so I kind of took it and ran with it. But I was always the one that I begged for a fake every Sunday. Like, can we please throw the ball every Sunday, at least one time?
Yeah.
And not so much run with it, but just throw it would be a lot better for me. But I feel like I never wanted to isolate myself from the team. Like, I watch a bunch of punters and kickers go to a whole different field and never get back over to the team period or just the actual structure of the team. They stay isolated. I hated that. I wanted to be in the mix, throw pat and go pregame, throw balls to receivers, tight ends after practice. I didn't want to be labeled a punter. I wanted to be labeled an Oakland Raider football player.
So when you were with the Raiders, there was a lot of things that were going on early in your career. I mean, you were actually the only punter drafted in 2005 round, but you joined a guy that was drafted by the Raiders in the first round, and you guys are kind of linked at the hip, no doubt, with Sebastian Janikowski. Recently, you were on Baron Davis's show, Talk of the Nation.
With Seabass, it didn't really matter because even in practice, if he would say something smart to me, like, kind of like get under my skin a little bit, I would spin the ball with laces straight back and make him kick the laces just because I had that much control over the ball. And I'm like, all right, say something again, and you're going to kick the laces again on purpose.
Seabass talking about that chemistry.
Hey, how about that story doing train camp? You remember where we pick where we going to kick? I was married, and I love it.
Tell us that story.
That was awesome.
Story?
That's when Ted Dasher sold us out to the head coach because we were late for curfew. And so it was a field goal period. And I knew Seabass was mad because I was mad too. I mean, we just lost a camp check, which wasn't much, like $300, but whatever. They snapped the ball, and I would look at Seabass, and he would point like left. And I'd put it down, he'd miss about 3 feet left outside the uprights. Then next snap, he would point right and miss it 3 feet right outside the uprights. He'd miss every one of them just to piss off that. He was kicking the ball. He was kicking the ball exactly where he wanted to kick it, but he wasn't going to make it just to piss everybody else off.
What was that reaction like, that reunion like, with the three of you guys getting together, even though it was virtual?
Well, it's not unusual. We do that quite a bit.
Okay.
Now, usually it's late at night, but we do talk quite a bit. I talk to Seabass probably at a minimum twice a week, maybe once a week. And Kondo, I talk to him quite a bit. I usually see him in Vegas when I come out. And but we stay in touch. I mean, that was a friendship that was not going to stop no matter where we lived. I mean, he's down in Jacksonville, Kondo's in Arizona, I'm here in Texas. We still talk like we're going to the locker room tomorrow.
That connection that you guys had together, obviously that is something that the Raiders have been known for, whether it's Ray Guy punting, yourself. Now you got A.J. Cole. You had Marquette King in there for a little bit. It's been one of these things for the Raiders. It's always been a strength. Could you talk a little bit about how unique it is for a special teams unit to, you want to be, like you said, you're part of the team, but there's a lot of separating that goes on. What is that like, trying to keep that familiar relationship going if you're the constant on a roster?
I think with Kondo and Seabass and I, it was easy. Kondo came in 5 years, I think, after we were there, and he fit in the second he got there with us.
Right.
And it was not a question. I knew who I wanted to be the deep snapper as soon as he got there, and Seabass did too. And with Janikowski and I living together early in my career to being roommates for 10 plus years on the road, and I knew what he was thinking before he was thinking it. And it got to the point where when I would go hold the ball for him, I knew how he wanted it leaned by the way the wind was blowing. He didn't even have to tell me. Like, it was just part of it. And I think that had a lot to do with how much we hung out together off the field, playing golf, going out to eat, all that stuff. There was a great chemistry there.
You could say there's that same kind of chemistry with A.J. Cole and Daniel Carlson with the Raiders now, and they're going through something unique here, replacing their special teams coach midway through a season. What challenges come with that? What kind of opportunities arise from that for a unit like that?
I think the challenge is always good. Obviously, I went through a lot of coaching changes in Oakland, and although a lot of times I didn't like it because my dad was a high school football coach, I always felt like I had the coach's back. I hated to see a guy get fired, but it made me stay sharp because every training camp I had to prove myself again. No matter if I just got back from Hawaii from a Pro Bowl or an all-pro team or whatever, I had to prove myself again to a whole nother set of people. And with what AJ and them are going through, I think they're kind of having that mid-season, although they know who the coach is. But it kind of will free him up a little bit and let him take like a reset button and start over mentally for the rest of the season. But that's one of the most talented punters I've seen. And he's athletic, he's big, he's strong. He gets to kick inside one of the best stadiums in the world. I'd have loved to have kicked him there.
Yeah. Yeah, what's interesting, the highlight package we saw your punt that kind of hit the ground and then went sideways inside the 2-yard line. We just saw AJ do that twice in Mile High last week. I mean, what do you do as a punter? I mean, do you jump off your couch? Are you screaming at the screen? I mean, how do punters celebrate other punters when they get punts off like that?
Hey, when AJ hit the one that went out of bounds to the right, I think it went out like on the half-yard line or yard. I was like, I was happy for him. I was sitting outside watching the game on the TV, and I was happy for him because, it's one of those things. I know what he's going through. You cannot 100% know that ball is going to do it, but you can see the way the ball flies, and you can start hoping. And that's honestly, that's what we do.
So you talked about all the coaches you went through, and just looking here, you were drafted. John Gruden was a coach. Callahan, Norv Turner, Art Shell 2.0, Lane Kiffin, Tom Cable, Hugh Jackson, and then Dennis Allen, the guy that actually hosted you on your trip at Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, when you think back and you hear all those names, what kind of comes to mind immediately? Despite all the constant turnover, despite all the change, you were still the best punter in the game. And a lot of people look at your stats now, and again, being a Hall of Fame candidate, would say that you're the best punter of all time.
I mean, it's like I said, it was a prove yourself over again role for me. I'm not good with being comfortable. I just feel like I get lazy or I don't stay sharp. And it was an unfortunate way to have to stay sharp with that many head coaches. But as my career reflected on it, I think it was the best thing. I mean, I got drafted by Al Davis and John Gruden, which was a tough spot to be in for a rookie with John.
Yeah.
I love John. I talk to John on a regular basis. But he's not easy on rookies. And I needed that. So it was good. Now, it helped having Seabass drafted first, because he took a lot more heat than I did, but oh well.
What's a good John Gruden story from your rookie season?
We were playing golf. It was me, Seabass, John, and I think Gannon. And we were out at the golf course he used to live in Livermore. We were out there, and we were playing like me and Seabass against them two, and it was a par 5. And, I mean, we were way out on the second shot, and Seabass was like, hey, let's just lay up in front of the pond and we'll hit over it. And I was like, hell no, grab the 3-wood and let's hit it over it. And John's like, that's it. That's all I needed to hear. You guys are on my team.
That was your tin cup moment?
That was it.
Shane, when you look at everything that's going on here and what's coming forward, I mean, obviously it's a big personal day for your family today, your daughter Emerson. Signing day today. What exactly is happening today for the family as you join us from the Shane Lechler Bait and Tackle Shop, which I absolutely love?
It's Emerson is my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter plays volleyball at UTSA in San Antonio, and Emerson chose softball. She got a full scholarship to Baylor. She'll sign it today, and I couldn't be more proud of her. She's put in a lot of work. There's been a lot. I texted her yesterday, and I was like, there's been a lot of tears, a lot of laughs, a lot of awful dad talks in the car on the way home from tournaments, and then some fun times when we weren't supposed to get what we got at the grocery store and took it to the tournament. It's just a whole bunch of secrets between me and her that, it just made it so awesome. And I'm going to go in there today and very proud dad and happy for her.
That's awesome. You can put hashtag, if you were on social media, which you're not, obviously, as you said, you could put hashtag girl dad on that. And congratulations, congratulations on that, Shane. I'll tell you, one highlight that did not make that roll that rolled out here before you joined us. My favorite memory, 2011 Pro Bowl in Hawaii. I'm there for a different company trying to chase down Nnamdi Asomugha to see what he's going to do. And I had those little flip vid cameras at the time. He took it for me, and he walked around the hotel for me. He went to the swimming pool, and he saw you, and he put it on you. He goes, oh, wait, we can't use that. All I know is you were in a very celebratory mood, a couple things in your hand in the swimming pool. So, yeah, we can't use that on air. But I guess the statute of limitations is over now, right, Shane?
It is.
Shane, congratulations on everything from the personal level with your daughter signing today. What position is she going to play at Baylor?
Third base.
Third base. Awesome. The hot corner.
Yeah.
Very cool. Again, congratulations.
The only 6'1" third baseman, I think, in college softball.
She's not a first baseman?
She plays both corners, but third is her spot.
Gotcha. Awesome. Shane, thanks again for all the time. Good luck with everything. We're looking forward to seeing you also with the other guys, with Seabass and Kondo on Talk to the Nation with Baron Davis. But as always, man, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hope to get out there soon.
Hey, we just recognized Veterans Day, and when it comes to a personal story here, I can't thank enough of my grandfather and my father, both of whom served in the United States Army. My grandpa, he stormed Normandy in World War II, and while he didn't talk a lot about it, later in life, he talked about it a lot. The late 90s, he spoke about the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. Not because he saw the movie, but because he was there. My dad, he was in Vietnam when I was born. He served in 1969, 1970 in Southeast Asia and has taken a pride in it of late especially. He was wearing a cap, matter of fact, this weekend at my nephew's going-away party. He's actually going to Pensacola for Naval Flight School. So to all veterans out there, thank you so much for your service. The Raiders, well, they've selected Air Force veteran Naja Williams as the team's nominee for the 2025 Salute to Service Award presented by USAA. This award recognizes NFL players, coaches, staff, and alumni who make exceptional efforts to honor and support military and veteran communities. Naja works as the chief engineer and facilities manager at the Raiders headquarters, and he served with distinction for 16 years as a nuclear missile and space facility superintendent and a military drill instructor. Fans can vote for Naja at NFL.com/SaluteFanVote. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Upon Further Review. To stay up to date on all things silver and black, check out our shows and watch them all on our YouTube channel, and visit Raiders.com for more content.